It's October 1981, and I could not wait to hit play. I was not listening for lyrics. I did not understand theology. I was not debating morality. I was just a kid, beaten up by life and trying to feel something that would make me feel less alone. Okay, picture this. It's October 1981, a warm afternoon. I am 11-year-old walking home from school in a gray Soviet town. Head down, heart heavy, because I just spent half of the day getting bullied again. Yeah, I was a late bloomer, 11 on paper, but I looked like 8 years old. Very skinny, quiet, misunderstood. And to make things worse, my mom was a school principal. Yeah, try to get sympathy when your mom is literally running the place. It did not protect me at all. If anything, it made things harder. I wasn't hungry when I walked home that day. I was just full of sadness, full of anger, full of words I did not know how to say. But I had one hope waiting for me. It was not a snack, it was not a dear friend or anything like that, but it was reel-to-reel tape recorder and some new music my dad had brought home. I don't know where he got that music from. Maybe from a salesman, maybe from a smuggler in the port city of Odessa. Odessa, by the way, was connected to the outside world in a way most of the Soviet Union was not. Music would sneak in through ships and traders. And this time it was a new album, smuggled in, transferred from vinyl to reel, and I could not wait to hit play. That album, Black Sabbath, Paranoid, 1970. By the way, the year I was born. Now, keep in mind, I did not speak English at all. Yeah, we studied in school, but I barely knew only 5 words. I always talk about this: mother, father, sister, brother, and AC/DC. I did not know what Ozzy was saying, but I felt it. Just like I had felt it a week earlier when I listened to Highway to Hell, another forbidden treasure from 1979. I was not listening for lyrics. I did not understand theology. I was not debating morality. I was just a kid, beaten up by life and trying to feel something that would make me feel less alone. Listen, that room with the heavy Soviet furniture and peeling wallpaper became my sanctuary. I would put my headphones, close my eyes, and I let the frustration leak out through every Tommy Iommi's guitar riff. It was the only space I had to release what I could not say out loud. I did not have therapy. I did not have a youth pastor. I had music, and it saved me over and over again. Not just rock. Later, it was classical music, then jazz. Then, when I became a Christian, it was worship. Different genres, same gift. A release valve for the pain I did not know how to carry. That's why when people say, did not Ozzy Osbourne glorify the devil? Listen, I pause. Because that man's voice met me in a place church people never did. Okay, now here's what really gets under my skin. I am a pastor, yes, but I am also a trained musicologist. I've spent my entire adult life studying music. Not just playing it, but understanding music, understanding the roots, functions, power. And if there is one thing I've learned, music is not a character report. It's not a moral resume. It's not a spiritual background check. It's art. And art is the rawest expression of the human soul. But somehow in church, we are trained ourselves to treat art like it's a criminal record. Oh, that sounds dark. This beat is too aggressive. This artist wore eyeliner once in 1987. Must be Satan. Meanwhile, we are playing Tchaikovsky every Christmas in a sanctuary like it's a straight from the third heaven. Okay, let's talk about this double standard for a minute. Because if we are being honest, the church does not really mind who the artist was, as long as the music sounds nice. And if we are talking about Tchaikovsky, for example, church folks love playing the Nutcracker at Christmas and the candlelight services like it's falling fresh from the book of Psalms. But here's what most of us never say out loud. Tchaikovsky was not a saint by biblical standards. Not even close. He was most likely gay, deeply depressed, and spent much of his life wrestling with shame and suicidal thoughts. He also was not exactly a devoted Christian. Many historians describe him as more agnostic or culturally orthodox at best, but certainly not a man of a deep biblical faith. And yet, we still call his music divine. Why? Because it's soft, it's elegant, it's respectable, it fits the church vibe, it makes us feel holy. Apparently, if you put your emotional trauma into the violin concerto, the church will name a Christmas concert after you. But if you scream your pain through guitar amplifier and wear a cross on a stage, well, that's demonic, brother. Do you see how inconsistent that is? We don't mind the brokenness, the darkness, as long as it wears a tuxedo and sounds classical. But if it has tattoos, distortion, or eyeliner, we cancel it. Even if the message is biblical, even if the life has fruit, even if the artist is quietly holding a Bible while church holds its pitchfork. And listen, I'm not defending every lyric Ozzy Osbourne ever wrote, but I am saying this. If you are going to play Tchaikovsky in your sanctuary, then don't dare call Ozzy demonic just because he did not dress like your choir director. God's spirit is not limited to pipe organs and hymnals, and his mercy is not afraid of minor chords. Let me say this clearly. The morality of the melody does not come from the genre. It comes from the message. And even more than that, the life behind the art. We don't follow a God who judges outward appearances. Jesus himself said, "You clean the outside of the cup, but inside, it's filthy." So why are we so quick to call one artist demonic and another divine, based on packaging alone? I'm telling you this as someone who stood on the stages, studied scores, and pastored souls. Loud does not mean evil. Quiet does not mean holy. And dark lyrics don't always mean darkness is winning. Sometimes darkness is just being exposed. And that's where Ozzy comes in. Ozzy Osbourne adopted a dark stage persona, Prince of Darkness. But he explained it as a theatrical, more bubblegum satanism than real devotion to evil. His songs did not glorify devil, they wrestle with darkness. Let me be clear about something. I'm not here to defend Ozzy Osbourne's lifestyle. Not everything he did was wise. Not everything he said was healthy. And Ozzy himself has admitted that. He talked openly about his addictions, his regrets, the damage he caused, the things he wished he could take back. He never tried to convince anybody that he was a role model. In fact, he said quite the opposite. He once said, "Don't follow my path. I'm just lucky to be alive." I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not proud of them. So no, I'm not pretending Ozzy was a saint. But what bothers me far more is how some Christians act like they are. Like they never messed up in their lives. Like they got to decide who is redeemable and who is not. Like Jesus appointed them to be a cultural referees who is more likely to have grace. I'm not shocked by Ozzy's darkness. He never pretended to be a light. But I'm deeply concerned by the spirit of religious pride that shows up with the smile on Sunday, acting like it's close to God, while it condemns people God may still be reaching today. Jesus never once yelled at the sinner. He saved that for the religious people who thought they were better than anyone else. Yes, I met people like Ozzy, raw, messy, and honest about their brokenness. And I've met people in suits with perfect theology and ugly, ugly hearts. So if you are wondering why I am talking about this, it's not because I am a fanboy. It's because we have lost sight of the gospel. We have traded compassion for criticism. We have swapped discernment for disrespect. And instead of weeping over lost people, we mock them on the internet. And that, my friend, should break our hearts. So no, I'm not saying that Ozzy got everything right, but I am saying maybe we have not either.